Good evening, everyone. This is Julian Arcila, and today we're going to talk about how to write a literature review. Let's start with what a literature review is. A literature review is a search and evaluation of available literature in your given subject or chosen topic area. It documents the state of the art with respect to the subject or topic you are writing about. A literature review has four main objectives. It surveys the literature in your chosen area of study. It synthesizes the information in that literature into a summary. It critically analyzes the information gathered by identifying gaps in the current knowledge, by showing limitations of theories and point of view, and by formulating areas for further research and reviewing areas of controversy. It presents the literature in an organized way. And finally, a literature review shows your readers that you have an in-depth grasp of your subject and that you understand where your own research fits into an existing body of knowledge. In other words, in a literature review, you make a summary of literature to find out who is saying what about the things you are interested in, especially your research objectives, and to show that you have the knowledge and the skills to interpret and evaluate such literature. Now that we have some ideas about what a literature review is, let's think about some steps in order to start better. So first, think about the objective of the research. Second, when we write our literature review, it is extremely easy to go around the bushes, so we can create subsections or headings in the literature review that are directly linked to the objectives of our research. That will help us to keep track of our topics. When we are looking for information for our literature review, we have to keep in mind what research has been done by others relevant to our research aim or objectives, so we don't waste our time talking about irrelevant things. And last but not least, remember that you have to present the work of others in a clear, interesting, and progressive manner. Now let's talk about what makes a literature review good or bad. So some do's. You provide interesting and relevant facts to support your ideas, highlight pertinent and emerging issues, cite a variety of relevant sources properly, make critical evaluation of different ideas presented in the review, keep focus on the main issues of your research, show a clear evidence of critical evaluation, stress main issues, make an in-depth review of relevant literature supported by properly cited sources. Some don'ts. Avoid irrelevant rambling. Give an order to your ideas. Don't be too descriptive. That shows that you are making little effort to give an opinion or support it with reasoned arguments. Don't finish fast. Make it as many clarifications as is necessary in the main findings. Use trustful sources. Focus mainly in books and academic articles. And finally, use as many trustful and meaningful resources as possible. Now let's talk about the introduction. The introduction should define your topic and provide an appropriate context for reviewing the literature, establish reasons and show your point of view, explain the organization sequence of the review, state the scope of the review, what is included and what isn't. For example, if your literature review is about obesity in children, you may say something like, there is a large number of studies of obesity trends in general population. However, since the focus of the research is on obesity in children, there will not be review in detail. Release the research objectives to tackle and give a relevance to your literature review. Finally, spell out carefully to the reader the topics that you intended covering. Another way of thinking about the introduction is that it should draw a map for the reader. Imagine you are taking the reader on a journey. Your introduction tells the reader not only the intended final destination, but the route you are going to take, the method of transport, the place you are going to visit on the way, the people you are going to meet, and even some of the things they are going to say. Now let's take a look at an example and analyze the different parts of an introduction. Now let's take a look to the following example taken from Succeeding with Your Master's Dissertation. This is the Appendix C. In color green, we can see the topics the literature review will cover. Color red, the objectives of the review. Now, in this slide, we can see in the first paragraph how the author explains why this literature review is relevant to the field. And in the second paragraph, the final objective of the review. And in the last two lines, the structure that the review is going to follow. And this example is just about 370 words. Now let's take a look at the body. During the development of your literature review, you have to show that you have read widely in your subject area and that your choice of literature is pertinent to your research. You show that you have read and can evaluate critically the work of others. You can only do that engaging in meaningful discussions. Now some tips to improve the body of your literature review. Sometimes, and according to your research and topic, you can attempt to define the area that you are studying. Summarize and synthesize. Give an overview of the main points of each source and combine them into a coherent whole. Analyze and interpret. Don't just paraphrase other researchers. Add your own interpretations where possible, discussing the significance of findings in relation to the literature. Critically evaluate. Mention the strengths and weaknesses of your sources, but don't overdo it. You are not required to evaluate critically every piece of literature that you have read, or interpret and assess the worth of every quotation that you use. Highlight emerging issues. Write in a well-structured paragraphs. Use transitions and topic sentences to draw connections, comparison, and contrast. Finally, remember to stick to high-order thinking skills, such as analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. When you are quoting the work of the researchers or recalling someone's idea, you are using low-order thinking skills, but you must take the opportunity to show that you have high-level cognitive skills by applying theory, for example, analyzing what you have read, collecting and combining ideas from the different sources, and your thoughts, giving your opinion and backing it up with evidence and arguments. In the conclusion, you should summarize the key findings you have taken from the literature and emphasize their significance. Here you can find some keywords that will help you in the development of your conclusion. Summarize the important aspects of the existing body of literature. Evaluate the current state of the literature review. Identify significant flaws or gaps in the existing knowledge. Highlight the issues that have emerged from the reading. Provide a justification for any empirical work that you want to do. Outline areas for future study. And link your research to existing knowledge. I hope all these tips will help you in your journey to write a literature review. In the comment section you will find the corresponding references and a link to a sample introduction and conclusion. Thank you.